Okay, guys, it's not over until the psych. You take the finals. All right. So we have seen how to solve by finding the square roots. We have seen how to solve by completing the square. That was like total disaster. Well, no apologies, no negative words. Now we're gonna solve by using the quadratic formula, which you have to commit by memory. So the quadratic formula states that negative b plus and minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Commit to memory, guys. That's it. That's it. Nothing fancy. Commit to memory. And then after that, it's beautiful because we know that our quadratic equation looks like ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So what you're actually substituting in this formula is the coefficients of the equation and the constant term. It's beautiful, isn't it? So if I have an equation, 3t squared equals to 2t plus 3. First, we want to set it up in equation form, quadratic equation style. So that's 3t squared minus 2t minus 3. Be very careful not to have hindsight and say, oh, my b is 2 and my c is 3. Nope. Your b and c does not exist in its proper form until that equation is set equal to 0. 0. All right. I'm being goofy because I'm like super tired, but I really want you guys to be ahead of the game with this. So here we go. So my a now, I'll put it over here. My a is 3, my b is negative 2, and my c is negative 3. So all I'm going to do now is plug and play. So let's say it says x here is equal to negative b. Be very careful. Negative b, right? I'm committed to the formula. So b is negative 2. This negative does not take care of the negative 2. Be careful. B, this is my b. Plus and minus the square root of b squared. So b is negative 2 squared minus 4a. A is 3, all right? C is negative 3. And it's all over 2a, which is 3. So let's carefully and slowly, you know, when I'm tired, I'm so prone to errors, but we're going to make this happen. Here we go. So x is, we can take care of these two here. This is the opposite of a negative is a positive. Plus and minus the square root of our b squared, that's 4, minus 4ac. Now let's take care of this right away. This is actually negative 4 times 3 is negative 12, and negative 12 times negative 3 is positive 36. Bam. Positive 36. And this is all over 2 times 3 is 6. Oh boy. Oh, I'm going to need space, but I'm going to try to squeeze it in. Here we go. Let's see if we can go up here a little. So this is the same as saying 2. All right, let's take it up here. Let's bring the problem up here so we can have some space. So it's saying that x is 2 plus and minus the square root. Let's just evaluate this right away. 4 plus 36 is 40 over 6. Right? Let's take our time. Now I'm going to separate the two terms here. This is 2 over 6 plus root 40 over 6. All right? And this is 2 over 6 minus root 40 over 6. All right, take our time. So this is actually x is equal to, let's do this, 1/3. And root 40 is actually 2 root 10. All right, so let's do this. It's actually plus 2 root 10 over 6, which is the same as this is going to reduce 2. Yeah, right? That's going to reduce 2. All right. And here we go. We have it 1/3 minus 2 root 10 over 6, which is going to reduce. So here we go. We have our first value of x is 1 plus root 10 over 3. And our next value is 1 minus root 10 over 3. So you got to do a couple of these and then you become a master of it. So like I said, let's do another one. Let's do another one. It's not going to look pretty, but it's exact solutions. So here we have 4n squared equals to 7n minus 2. Will we find normal looking equations as in like, yep, we'll find them. All right. I'm just trying to do all the ways in which you see your problem show up. So let's work on this. So this is actually 4n squared minus 7n plus 2. I'm sure by now you should know how I got that. If you look puzzled, then you're not on the right video. You should be backtracking on how to factor and take all those various steps. So my A is 4, my B is -7, and my C is 2. And remember my formula, let's see how well I committed it to memory, says x is equal to -b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Nice. So I'm going to plug and play. So my x is equal to -b plus or minus the square root of b squared, -7 squared minus 4a, which is 4, and c, which is 2, all over 2a. All right, let's evaluate this on this side here. Let's see what x is equal to. Let me take my time. So x is equals to +7 plus or minus the square root of 49 minus 32, right? I just took care of minus 4 times 4, 16 times 2 is 32, all over 8. So x is equal to 7 plus or minus the square root of, what's 49 minus 32? 17. All right. Oh, so it doesn't look so beautiful. Doesn't look like we can reduce anything here. So you could just leave your answer as 7 plus or minus root 17 over 8. Or you can show the separation, which will be 7 plus root 17 over 8. They share the same denominator, and 7 minus root 17 over 8. Okay, guys, I'll be nice. I guess I'll do one more for you. Let's see. All right, so this here, they want you to use a little cumulative knowledge. In your text, they're asking you to use two methods of solving this. They want you to complete the square and use the quadratic formula. And I'm glad this came up because basically it'll show you that you can use several methods to solve quadratic equations. Factoring for some of you might be the easiest method, but not all problems. Some problems show up prime or non-factorable, and when they are, you have to resort into using the quadratic formula or completing the square. So let's complete the square. Let's use our knowledge from previous videos. So we are going to transpose our constant term. Then we are going to divide the coefficient of the second term by 2 and square it, which gives you 9, right? And then we're going to add 9 to both sides. And we know that this gives us a perfect square. So this is x minus 3 squared, right? Just take the square root of the constant term and you'll know what's in there. Equals to 25, looking delicious. Then we're going to find the square root of both sides to solve. X minus 3 is equal to plus or minus 5. So x is actually equal to 5 plus 3, and then we have a minus 5 plus 3. So x is equal to 8 and negative 2. Let's see what happens when we use the quadratic formula. We should get the same results. So in this case, my a is 1, my b is negative 6, and my c is negative 16. Let's apply that quadratic formula, which says negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. All right. Let's keep our fingers crossed that I did the correct calculation. And let's see what happens. So let's take our time. X is equal to 6 plus and minus the square root of 36 plus 60. Would that be 64? Yep, all over 2. Looking good. Not looking good. Oh, yes. So x is equal to 6 plus or minus the square root of 100. Ooh, look at he, look at he, look at he. So x plus or minus 10 over 2. Let's see what happened. So if we were to plus this, we have 16 over 2. And if we were to subtract it, we have negative 4 over 2, which will give us 8 and negative 2. Oh, boy, isn't it beautiful? Isn't it beautiful? And guys, look, if I was to just factor this, take a look at this. Let's just take backtrack. I have negative 16, so I know I have to have a plus and minus factor to get my middle term. I have to perform a subtraction to get my middle term. And the bigger factor will take the sign of the middle term, which is negative 8 and positive 2. Because if I subtract a positive 2 and negative 8, I'll get negative 6. But if I multiply them, I'll get negative 16. And my two factors would be x plus 2 and x minus 8 equals 0. And if I was to solve for them, I'll get x equal 8 and negative 2. So there, I just showed you 3 methods in where if I had used them, I get the same results. So there goes your factoring in a nutshell. Well, not exactly, but factoring coming together in all different forms.